Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today's replay is from Erythraeum, and I'm terribly sorry because I'm probably butchering that name. But anyway, he's in the Myoko, a tier 7 Japanese cruiser. He's on the map Neighbors in a 3-point domination game, and he's top tier, which is pretty nice. And it looks like he's going to open up on this Omaha. Now, in chat, I think the Atlantis said friendlies should focus on C and take A last, and I think somebody else said if A is free, just go take it. Both pretty understandable sentiments. Now, when it comes to this map, C is definitely the more valuable point than A. The problem with A is that the islands are too high to serve as cover for the cruisers. And if you push from A, basically if you control A, you control a bunch of water. And if you control C, you control the important cover. If you line up cruisers behind like the islands here between C and B, you can just safely farm everything between A and B. So basically if you control the north, in theory, you have a major advantage. I say in theory because just because you are in control of cover, it doesn't mean that the ship's actually going to use it. And oftentimes people tend to get stuck in the corner up here. I guess it happens a little bit less around the A cap because, well, I don't know, maybe because the corner is a bit emptier down here. Anyway, our Myoko here has decided to go A. I mean, the Myoko isn't a cruiser that's reliant on island all that much and can perform quite adequately in open water gunboating. Look at that, enemy Myoko found. He's switching to armor piercing because there is quite a bit of broadside showing. Speaking of broadside, he has to be careful because there is a Nagato and a Colorado. And now he's getting targeted, so he might just... well, I guess it's the Myoko who's targeting him. But he's trying to angle here. He's got his Hydro running because obviously the Myoko has torpedoes. Also, he's even using standard consumables. So we have a Myoko, a ship that has been around for ages, and while quite alright, not really all that exceptional. With standard consumables, it's nice to see, like, as an old school cruiser do well at times, with nothing that could be called A to win or overpowered or anything like that. So meanwhile, the friendlies, it looks like they are taking the B cap. We have a Mars who might, like, the Mars is pretty aggressive here, probably because of his height. I assume that he just wanted to, like, make the enemy destroy their runaway, but there is a Flint approaching. And while the Flint might not carry radar, it's still the big threat if it catches up to the Mars, so the Mars should, well, let's hope he can get out of here. Let's put it like this. The friendlies are already 3 ships behind, they have lost the C cap, and, well, now they are 4 ships behind. The Mars has been caught, and this is looking rather problematic. Now, Myoko here has stopped firing because, well, he wants to cap in stealth, and there is probably not much point in chasing those guys further up north. Although those enemy ships might just be a problem, because if the friendlies now push towards speed, they might end up in a crossfire. Not just that, but now we have exactly the situation that you want to avoid. I mean, not exactly. The friendlies still have the Algeria and the King George, so they have firing solutions on enemy cruisers behind islands. But basically, the enemy now controls the more valuable part of the map. And while the friendlies do have the B cap, they are currently losing it. So this looks pretty horrible in many ways. But you know, it's not over yet. And one nice thing about World of Warships is that sometimes you really get those nice comebacks. Well, I guess we will find out if we get one here. It's going to be close, I can already tell you that though. So, Erythraeum is trying to go for the Flint in smoke. He has even armor piercing loaded. And he just really wants to sink that Flint. And he managed 3 citadels, blind shot in smoke. Glorious. And he's even laughing himself. I assume he did not expect that. So the friendlies are finally trying to pull the numbers back. But well, they're still behind on points. They could use the B camp. But we will see. Now the question is, where does one go from here? Oh, destroyers are getting spotted. When you look at chat, we don't really see the Atlanta using radar right now, right? So the enemy just got careless and got themselves spotted the old-fashioned way. But you know, with the Atlanta approaching like this, I would assume we're going to see a radar. Like, if he had spread out those torps a bit more, it might have just ended Myoko here and there. But, you know, oh, there is the radar. And now, both enemy destroyers are probably going down. So that's a stroke of fortune. The friendly team doesn't have destroyers anymore. And now neither does the enemy. And look at that, suddenly the friendlies are 1 ship ahead. The Omaha should be going down here too, and maybe the friendlies can even grab B. And this convenient smoke means that our Myoko isn't even getting spotted here. Now he also has to be careful. Well, I mean, he's getting detected now by those guys, and there is a Duke that way. Now, not that close, but still. Being broadside is always a bit risky. I mean, there's also the Belfast, but the Belfast doesn't hit that hard, I suppose. Okay, now the friendlies have pulled their caps back, and now all they need to do is defend. Now, unfortunately, the friendly battleships are all on pleasure cruises somewhere. I mean, those 2 guys, the Sinop and the Nagato, they seem to have taken quite a bit of damage yet. Where's the other Nagato? No, this Nagato most certainly has not. So we need this Nagato to do a bit of tanking there. So basically, we'd like this Nagato to... Well, I mean, he shouldn't really push that hard into those guys, but maybe at the position where erythraeum is right now, it would be rather nice for a Nagato, nose pointed towards the incoming storm, and then just doing a bit of tanking. Now we have some torps going towards the incoming battleship there, and those guns are suspiciously pointing our way. So our Myoko is starting to slow down a bit, angle away, and trying to dodge the shells. He also has to be aware of the Sinop, another very dangerous thing. Now, it's not looking so good points-wise right now, is it? But... well, that's because the friendlies are 2 ships behind. 2 cap zones will over time give the friendlies the lead, but do they have the time? And there is a Confederate and a nice torpedo into the Duke that unfortunately didn't do too much. And down goes some more friendlies. Now it's 3 against 6, not a situation you want to find yourself in. But I guess at least it's a target-rich environment, right? So, where do we go from here? The friendlies definitely wanna defend the B camp and not push into anything. It would have been nice if that Nagato would have ever tried to do some tanking, but hey, I mean, at least he's still at full health and he might be able to do something. And well, meanwhile, it's just some open water gunboat. Now, Myoko isn't the worst for open water gunboat in the Atlanta. On the other hand, I feel like he's not in her best environment. But so far, the Atlanta has been doing well, I think. Yoki's getting low. And look at that. Maybe for the first time the friendly Nagato will even be shot at. Nagato is finally moving in. Oh, he even lost some health so far. Isn't that amazing? So Nagato taking the lead there. Now of course the Nagato has to be careful that he is not sailing too far into a crossfire. Because considering that there are barely any friendlies left floating, but if he pushes too far, he might end up sandwiched between those battleships in the north and the battleships more towards the right side. So at this point, what the Nagato should probably do is stop and worse, right? He's managed to get in front of the cruisers, that's where you want him, because you want the enemy to focus the Nagato and not the squishy cruisers. But you don't need to push in, like the Nagato just here and then probably reversing would be ideal. Oh, do we get the top hit in the Julius CSRA? Yes, we do. Still floating though. Now, following that up with a fire would be juicy. The Atlanta is also going for the Julio. So between the two cruisers, I feel like they should be able to get the fire and do something there. Meanwhile, the Nagato just keeps pushing in. It's like the entire game, Nagato was just way too far behind to do anything. And then at that one point in the game where he should be playing more passive, he's just fully going for it. Oh well. I mean, the friendlies aren't that far behind on points. Considering they still have 2 caps. They just can't afford. There goes one enemy. So the friendlies are actually in the lead now. They're just 1 ship behind. And look at that. Now the Nagato is just going full broadside in front of a Sinop and a Colorado. No, wait, he isn't really. Oh, actually, he's quite angled. My bad. I was just thinking he would be turning away. No, but he didn't. Of course, I mean, tier 7 battleships have the weak bow problem, that they can overmatch each other's bows. Now, it's not that much of an issue if you are far enough away that the shells come more from above, but if you are too close, then they can just easily go straight through you. And look at that, there is a high caliber, so it looks like that Sinop is going down here, and, well, no, the Nagato and Atlanta are going down. Well, the Sinop's going down too. And it looks like the Atlanta unleashed the Kraken with a fire that was still burning. So, yay for that. Now the friendlies are slightly behind on points, but they control 2 caps. Thing of course is, the enemy will just push into B, and that will be it, right? So, how does one play this? He can try to go for C, but he's probably going to run into enemies on the way. Now, friendly people in chat are advising just run. Like, if he can protect the B cap, then just running might work. The friendlies are now any second overtaking the enemy, and now all he has to do is not lose one of those caps. Right, if the enemy is sitting inside B, it doesn't matter as long as they're getting interrupted frequently. But it's almost 4 minutes still left. And that's a long time for unhealthy Myoko to be interrupting 3 ships. Now, not sure if the Belfast still has smoke. The Belfast should be around here somewhere. I was not sure how healthy the Belfast is. I mean, the Belfast is probably the easiest thing to sink here, because it's a squishy cruiser. If Belfast can get spotted, the Belfast might also just be using islands there. Now, of course, the most fun way to deal with the... Actually, we should probably speed this up a little bit. Because there isn't much happening. So we got torps going towards the Colorado. And I'm afraid they might run out. Otherwise, they're looking pretty much on point. Yeah, maybe a little bit too much. Well, it doesn't. They're running out. And now he starts to interrupt. So far, we only have one enemy inside the camp. Not sure where the Nagato is. I guess it's a good thing. Because it definitely looks like the enemy Nagato is not out of this match currently because he's too far away. So we got off another reset and still nothing from the Belfast. Now he's far enough away that the Belfast probably can't safely shoot him, and maybe the Belfast is too low and doesn't want to risk it, I don't know. Like so far it looks like the Colorado is the only one actually playing right now. And the Colorado actually is reversing, so he has realized one thing, like pushing after the Myoko is not going to work. And the reverse actually worked, because the Colorado now managed to cap, because Erythraeum had to turn his ship around in order to try to get another reset. But, you know, the friendlies have more point. Now the enemy have taken a B cap, but will it be enough? Probably not, it's 10 seconds left. And this is close. Oh, this is very close. But the friendlies win. And you know what? That's a solo warrior. So Erythraeum earned himself 2,799 base experience, and he certainly carried this to victory. Now, we shouldn't forget the Atlanta, who was also rather instrumental, I suppose, and who unleashed a quite lovely Kraken. So Erythraeum earned himself a devastating strike, a Confederate, a solo warrior, and a high caliber, scoring 153,000 points of damage. And I rather much enjoyed this replay, seeing a Myoko get the solo warrior, one of the hardest achievements to get, and having a great game while doing so is just pretty nice. So hope you enjoyed that too, and I'll see you guys next time.